A presentation showing what we do with Airbus Corporate Jets. We met with them about over a year and a half ago with Richard Mille. He met the CEO who's here today, and it was really, we coming up with an aviation watch which had both the design cues of Richard Mille, which everybody knows, like the tonneau-shaped case, the skeletalized movement, and also what Airbus is about. And actually we realised that there are a lot of commonalities between what they do and we do on very different scales. They are all about technology, light aircraft, trying to push the limits in construction, with composites, with titanium, obviously reducing fuel consumption is all about how much weight you're going to be flying up in the skies. And we're obsessed with all these things as well, but on a very smaller scale. So, also making very light watches, very resistant watches. We do carbon fiber technology through NTPT, which is our partner since a year and a half, and everything we do with carbon. And also resistance as well, and shock resistance. And it's just me too, the chief designer who does Airbus Corporate Jets, Sylvain Maria he's called, he just came up with a drawing, and then Richard said, well, let's do this together. And so that's where it all triggered off about a year ago. We got our development team at the factory involved as well. And we have a whole array of different movements already available, but we thought we'd do a specific Airbus corporate design. And even the screws you have on the case are inspired by the screws you have in aviation on the around the windows on the planes. So it was just a real fascinating project for both companies to share ideas. Their designer, chief designer, and our designers, and Richard Mille himself, of course. Airbus Corporate Jets is an entity of Airbus that they've developed, obviously, because buying an A319 or A320 and then having the whole interior kitted out, bespoke, it takes up to 2 years. It's an expensive jet because our first price is around 80 million euros. But obviously it's something they're developing more and more for their very, very wealthy and very important customers in the Middle East and China. US they're going to tap into as well, because they now have a factory in the US as well, Airbus. They have one in Asia as well. And it's something that, now they have what they call the Neo, which is the engines which are making for lower fuel consumption, is making it quite competitive with all the traditional private jets, but on a different scale because it's a bigger plane. Also, the cabin size is much bigger, much more important, so you can really do specific interiors with bathrooms, bedrooms, anything you want, dance floors. They have all sorts of requests of that kind. So what's interesting as well is that they use the cargo hold where they put extra fuel tanks, so they can really increase the range of what is a small commercial flight. So they could do directly Paris, New York, which you wouldn't be able to do on the normal commercial flight of that model plane. So yes, for sure, their end clients are our end clients, and how the partnership came about is they realised that many of their clients were also wearing Richard Mille watches.